Well, welcome back to the mini shed. I know it's been a long time. I've not been sitting on my bum. I've been really busy, and unfortunately, with everything else in life, business, kids, all that stuff, you've heard it all before. The mini kind of takes a back seat. But springtime is here, and I'm pretty sure that soon I'm going to have some time to get some paint on it. Although I have been preparing for this day, there's been development to do with that. I'll show you that in a minute. There's been some advances with the bigger mini shed. I'll show you that as well. But first of all, it's springtime. This garage is a tip, so I'm just gonna do some garage spring cleaning. So why don't you join me?
And that's how you clean your garage. Ha!
Ho ho! Yeah, so we're up in positive figures now, and managed to get on with stuff. We're not with the car right now. But I hear that outside. Right here. Come on, have a look. Come on. Da 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 da. In with the big guns. There we go. This is a friend of mine, Mark, who does this for a living, so I thought he'd be quicker at it than me. And here we go. We're finding quite a few stones in a bit here, so hopefully we'll be able to find some sort of flat. And this is where the new mini shed's going to go. Exciting, huh? Oh, biggie. Good stuff. What we're going to do is, hope you can hear me, what we're going to do is all the big stones that he finds, we're going to build a boulder wall right along the edge here, right along the edge of the bank, and yeah, oh, it's a bit noisy, so there you go, the start of the future, haha. Oh, big rocks, that's what we like. Oh yes.
wee mini shed? Big mini shed, yes.
Well, here we have my 1999 Mark IV Toyota Hilux. I had a lot of rust in the outer sill, which was bubbling through to the outside, and the control technique over here in France, which is your equivalent to the MOT if you live in the United Kingdom. So I decided before it goes to cruise control technique, I would replace the sill. So the picture you see here is me just stripping it back just to see how much of the panel which I bought is going to be used. The panel I bought from Rough Tracks, which is a 4x4 company over there in the UK. It's a genuine panel which fits amazingly well. So I'm just chopping stuff out here just to see how much of the panel I'm going to use. And hopefully once all this is done, you'll see I'll do a video of it done and explaining how I did it and plans for the truck. So check it out. Yeah, so I replaced the sill on this Hilux, and it was joined here. I don't want to touch it because it's still wet. And where is it? Here. And I learned from a mini days, and I actually covered it with Raptor again, tinted red, and it's amazing. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but oh, the color is just beautiful. The day that it came out the factory, it must have been that color, and the rest of it is just a dull pink. So it's now giving me the idea that maybe I'm just gonna have to at some point respray the cab. It is my intention to get rid of the pickup part of it and replace it with a homemade flatbed tipper, but that'll have to wait until after the shed's built. But as you can see, this area here is just minging, and let's see the other side, and the other side is exactly the same, you know. But I mean, I don't know if you can pick up from the chassis is okay. It's just a wee bit of surface rust in the chassis. The back diff's been done very recently. I'll give you a look underneath. Back diff's all been redone. All the bearings, all the bushes on the suspension, all of that's been done. So once the shed's up, I can strip all this down and replace it with a lovely homemade flatbed tipper, and this truck will be good for another 10 years. It's a Toyota after all. Haha, yeah. So there you go. Cool. Well, here's the development to the BigMiniShed. This is the old entry to the house up this way, and here brought in the digger, which you saw, and here's what we've got. So this is the ramp up to it. There you go. Now, so as I think I maybe said before, the shed's going to be 10 by 7. That used to be 10 by 8, but I haven't got enough room, so I've got a guy who's working on plans for me because I just don't have enough time, and they should be in for planning permission soon, and I should be able to start building, I don't know, in a month or two, but little by little. You know, I'm not going to have the time to do it all in one go, you know, so it's just a project. Unfortunately, we're living in a building site, So there you go. So yeah, and the guy who you saw, Mark, who was doing the groundworks for me, he's not finished yet. He's going to come back and yeah, so the boulder wall all the way along length just to hold everything back. And he's going to come back and he's going to put in another layer of big boulders along here, so that when I eventually find my good level, I can, and it's all finished, I can put gravel up to the boulders that he puts along the top of the wall, and I'll look all nice and neat and tidy, hopefully, and we won't be living in a building site. But at the moment, that's the case. So there we go. Exciting. Yeah. So the other, so the let's go back in the garage. The other development in preparation for spraying the car, I went out and bought this beastie. Yes. So that little one in there, the old one, is a wee 50 litre. I don't know how many horsepower, but yeah, it just wasn't big enough, and it was especially for this thing. For this thing here, although I won't be using that on the Mini, or not at least not on that Mini for a while. But using that with a 50 litre tank is just tedious. You have to wait for it to fill back up and everything. So I went out and bought this bad boy. So as you can see, 150 litres, is it 3 horsepower? I think 3 horsepower. And yeah, it's putting out CFM. I think it is. It's 270 CFM. So I mean, I've already tried it with the gun, and it's just night and day, brilliant. So yeah, I'll be getting everything prepared. I'm gonna get a friend of mine. Will we turn you around? Yeah. Can we do that? Yeah, I'll just turn you around like that. Yeah. So I'm going to get a friend of mine's coming down to help me to put up the tent for spraying. It's just a big garden tent which we're gonna set up. We're gonna put the Mini on a big tarpaulin on the ground, and well, when I do it, you'll see all of that. So I've already put it up. You definitely need four hands to put this thing up, because the poles are not, you know, it's not the best of engineering, but it will do the job. Other thing is, yeah, what I was planning on doing, if I turn you back round again, I'll still get a layer of dust on it. My space heater for winter time, which you all saw me using, well, of course, it's got a big fan, which I'm going to use in the tent. I'm going to string it up in a hole in one of the sides ones to put them on, and that'll act to suck out all the stuff out the tent, all the atomized paint. I've also got up here. I've also got an old extractor unit for a kitchen, and believe it or not, the fan is really quite powerful. So we'll have both of them on the tent, so that it's sucking everything out the tent as I'm painting. I'll have a mask on, but that's what I'm going to do. There you go. So that's all the updates at the moment. I really have been busy with my work, but hopefully with the weather will be nicer. I'll be able to get out at nights. I've got the bonnet just to finish off. Put it in properly primer, and I think I'm gonna put. I think I said before, I'm gonna put another coat of primer on the car. There's a couple of wee bits in the. Maybe I can show you. Hold on. On the Mini. There we go. There's this bit here. Can you see this in the corner? Yeah. Where all the U-Pol stripped off, all cracked, because dummy here forgot to cover it with normal polyurethane primer. I just left it with the zinc primer on it, and so obviously the U-Pol doesn't adhere to the zinc primer, so I'm going to have to just chip back the edges just to find out it starts binding. And I've got some more. I've got some more U-Pol that I can just touch that up. I think there's a wee bit down here as well. Yeah, there you go. Just in at the back of the headlamp, just in here. It was my own fault. I was kind of, I think I was just in a rush, wanted to get it done, and didn't pay attention. So that'll have to be fixed. So yeah, that's, as Sean says, that's where I'm at. So just the end of this video. I promise I'm going to get stuff done soon, because my aim is I'm not going to have it on the road before the end of the summer. It's just not going to happen. So my plan is to get all the paint and everything done. This summer, start getting it all rebuilt, and then over winter time, I can just take my time getting it all back together again, getting it all running properly, sorting out insurance, and I don't know how I'm going to register it over here in France. I really honestly haven't looked into that yet. I may have to cheat fairly, and yeah, the Mini might be staying in my parents' garage in Scotland. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Anyway, my plan is that I believe the IMM International Mini Meeting 2019 is at Bristol, which is a coincidence because that's where I bought this car. It was off an old lady in Bristol, I think I told you before, so that would just be brilliant. And maybe I was thinking that if the guy's still alive, I don't know, maybe have to do some make some inquiries. But if the guy's still alive, it'd be brilliant to contact the guy who it was actually the neighbour of the old woman who sold it because she died. So if I could contact the guy and get him to meet me in Bristol in 2019 for the international mini meeting, and hopefully some of you will be there as well. So yeah, that's my aim. Obviously, I want it on the road, driving, having fun before that, so that if I have to make if I make the big trip over to Bristol next year, it's been tried and tested, and nothing's gonna break down, because nothing ever breaks down in a Mini. So yeah, so there you go. That's my little update. I'm sorry there hasn't been a video for ages and ages and ages. Just some quick shout outs to Sean C. Thanks very much for having me at your garage. It was a pleasure to meet you, and you make a fine cup of tea in my mug. The other thing was to basically, to all of you out there, you know who you are. All the videos that we all watch. I have been watching them. I haven't been commenting as I maybe used to. It's just time, you know. But hopefully I'll get some time soon, and we'll make some progress. I'd love to see some paint on this car. It would just make my, well, the last 10 years. So take it easy, and I'll catch you soon. See you later. Bye. Yeah, and P.S. I'm up to 100 subscribers. You guys are amazing. There's no, I just couldn't believe. I just looked YouTube there, and yeah, up to 100 subscribers. And I've noticed, a couple of weeks or something, people checking in. Thank you so much. It makes me feel all warm inside. As I say, I'm not doing this for fame or fortune. I'm just doing it for fun. If you guys, all you guys that are subscribing, if you're enjoying it, thanks very much. You made me very happy. Thanks very much. Catch you later. Bye.